Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to the Sexy Brutale. So I'm pretty sure this sapphire tear ring is going to let us into the door of the cabin, right? That was inscribed with a teardrop. Or at least the description said it was inscribed with a teardrop. It actually appeared to just be painted red in kind of a creepy abstract masky pattern. But I think that's where we're headed with this. Let's go give it a try. So we're gonna have to head up here and then through the secret passage, upstairs, and I don't remember where that's even actually going to take us. At some point, we're gonna have to figure out how to get the cards that are down in the basement that we couldn't get, you know, because they were in a tube or perhaps in some kind of massive, magical, nonsensical card void. Sort of an abstract space that doesn't really make any sense. Shouldn't be a problem. I don't anticipate it being a big issue. Maybe we could just bring this ladder over there and, like, lay it across the gap. Okay. I wonder why it's significant that we're able to hear the casino through that vent downstairs. Yeah, at this point, I'm so not concerned about the scary masks attacking us, you know? The mechanics of the game have been laid bare to us, and they are that we are effectively invincible. Up. Game's kinda... okay. Well, we seem to be fine, I guess. Game's hitching as though it does not want us to go into this cabin. Which I suppose is a little ominous. What have we here? The Marquis was an indifferent gardener, but Eleanor loved the mansion grounds, and under her care they flourished. The fountain and its statues were carved from a single block of marble, imported at phenomenal expense, and worked on day and night by Trinity for almost a full year. The full extent of the mansion grounds extends far beyond what can be seen from the terrace. Yeah, but it's not like I could just climb over a small wooden fence or anything, so I guess we'll never get to go see it. I guess it's a small wrought iron fence. Anyway, I think this is right. The door is indeed reacting. So are we going to be able to walk in there and just talk to her? I mean, she doesn't have a mask on, so probably, right? Oh! Well, this isn't what I thought it... Hold on, can I go back outside? There's no way out. Okay. The door is just gone, I guess. Well, I suppose we ought to, yeah. Sure, they're ticking in perfect harmony. Why wouldn't they be? This is, not where I thought that door was going to lead us, I'll be honest with you. If I can admit to such an embarrassing lack of foresight. So it kind of looks like we can interact with this door. I wouldn't expect it, considering that it seems to be extremely on fire, but... seems like the heat is less intense on this side of the room. If only we were here earlier. Okay. Alright. I see what we're doing. Weird. This is a weird thing that's happening right now. Okay, so the fire has not consumed the whole place. It is taking over progressively. We just gotta move fast. Definitely no time for peeking. Oh, man. Okay. Seems to be pursuing us pretty actively. Interestingly, the candle's not lit, despite the fact that the base of the candle does appear to be on fire. I wasn't aware that bone was flammable. Okay, well, this is less on fire. It's certainly awfully strange that we opened the door only to find ourselves in the mansion on fire, only to be led back to the door to the cabin? Yeah, I have no answers. I don't even have any guesses as to what's going on here. Well, they're not making me unlock the door again. Why did that happen? What is going on? What a strange little sequence. Lafcadio! It's been such a long time. Would you talk to Lucas? Something seems to be troubling him. Yeah, I should do that, definitely. He's always looked up to you, you know? I know he teases you dreadfully about your lifestyle. But he respects you enormously. More than anyone else I know. I believe he's always wanted to be more like you. Perhaps when he is a little older. Or more mature, I should say. Oh, you have our ring. Can I see? Yeah, I guess if it's yours. It's certainly not mine. Is she imbuing it with sorcery? Is she a sorcerer? I remember you presenting it to us when you married us. Did you just change the stone? You must take it. Lucas will be missing it, I'm sure. There's a mask over there. Tell him I just needed a rest. This little guy is getting heavy. I hope he won't be mad that I'm missing the party. I know he loves the mansion, but this is all we've ever really needed. I am uncomfortable leaving her alone with this here. This, right here. This is our perfect little world. Please, tell him I'll wait for him, won't you? I'll be right here, whenever he's ready. So he seemed to be quite old when he was in the tank, but I wonder if that's just because he's not resetting? Because he's powering whatever it is that's keeping us all caught in a loop? And maybe he's been trapped in there with us just repeating time over and over again for a very long time. I still have a lot of questions. That was Eleanor, the Marquis' wife. Yes, thank you. She's always here, safe in this place. You've seen some of the truth now. The mansion was on fire. We, the guests, died. It should have ended there. But that creature in the golden mask, somehow he brought them all back, torturing us over and over. I try to help them, try to find some peace in all this pain. He is so strong. But with that ring, I believe you can stop him. Ew. The sound of her walking is really gross. She should put on some slippers or something. There is a secret place. My uncle, I mean, Sixpence was so close. Take that ring to the room where Orem died. It will unlock the path. Eleanor left her mask for you. Take it. To the room where Orem died. Does she mean the room where Ghost Orem was immolated, or Eleanor's mirror walk? Eleanor was the life and soul that connected the people and places in the Sexy Brutale. Her mask allows you to travel by stepping into the mirrors placed throughout the mansion. You can now walk through any mirror in the Sexy Brutale. The movements of all staff and guests have also been revealed to you on the map. Okay, that'll be useful. She's getting it all in the carpet. She always tried so hard to see the best in people. But it's what you see that will matter. Now, look into the mirror. It's getting a little Donnie Darko over here. Oh, hey. Hey, here we are again. I have never seen inside that place, you know. I'm not sure whether to rage impotently or just be quietly glad. Anyway, I've watched you, Lafcadio. Your arrival was somewhat unexpected. All these years you've done your dutiful loop, dying along with Sixpence in the chapel. Then all of a sudden, one day you're running around ruining everything. It took me a little while to figure it out. And then, of course, I knew that bloodied creature had to be involved. I'm sure she has spun all the tales about me and what's happening here. I'm sure they have left out some rather important information. I will be utterly candid with you now, Boone. I could end this right now. I could end you. I have that power. But perhaps she is right, and I am a monster. But we might all be monsters here. I want you to see, to understand. Come with me. Well, I don't have a choice, I guess, so... I feel like I still have quite a few questions. So if we were dying in the loop, if we were part of the situation... Oh, hold on. Now, the first question is, am I really a murderer? And to that, the answer is, most assuredly, yes. You see this man here, dear Reginald? I killed him, stone dead. It wasn't my finger that pulled the trigger, but it was my command. Family as well, you know. Right, if we were part of the thing originally, why is it that we weren't among the paintings? Down in the basement, or... Nobody speaks of us at all, except when they're speaking directly to us. The staff member looks grimly dispassionate. He is doing his job without malice or pleasure. It sounded like he had some malice and pleasure when he was speaking, but alright. Sixpence is frozen perfectly in time. His face shows disbelief and agony. Out of curiosity, there's no circle over here. No, okay, I can't light this. Ah, the heart of the casino, our dear friend Clay. In this scenario, I had him die from a shot of venom from the same spider which would go on to devour his precious wife. He did like a drink, Clay, but never when he was working, you know. There is almost a sense of sadness in the lifeless mechanical eyes of Sixpence's prototype robot. The poison has burned the flesh around Clay's mouth down to the bone. It was a horrific way to die. It doesn't sound like poison. It sounds like he just straight drank acid. That also would be horrific. Now this is messed up. Where do you even get a spider like this? So fitting. She was so beautiful, Trinity. The moth by moonlight. It was what Clay called her. She loved that name. A moth. So I thought it very fitting for her to be eaten by my giant spider. I never had one, you know. I'm sure nothing could possibly grow that big. But by gods, I wish they did. I would have kept it in a room just like this one. Okay, well that does actually answer several of my questions. Really, immediately too, almost creepy. You cannot imagine the terror she must have felt, bound in thread and waiting for the end. A creature from a nightmare. Literally, apparently. Tequila's body is covered in deep cuts. This one was rather fantastical. When we found that fish, I did so want to believe the stories. A voodoo fish. I rather suspect it was just a guppy with some particularly bright colors. The man who sold it to me must have thought I was the most gullible person under the sun. But I wasn't paying for the fish. I was paying for the story. Eleanor called me a fool, but she did love to watch him in his tank. Best fortune I ever spent. I'd like to say that Willow would never have hanged herself, but then a long time ago I stopped even trying to pretend I could understand what another person might do. That's interesting. That gives us some interesting insights. At one point, you thought this creature held the answers, but he's just a fiction, a boogeyman. Also, I didn't notice that he was wearing a jaunty little hat when we were here before. I guess that's the voodoo hat? Willow's face is contorted in agony. It is kind of like, right, the pop culture voodoo hat. What is it? Baron Samedi wears one like that. Or at least a lot of depictions of him. Miss Tequila Bell. What a voice. She was a living work of art. I murdered her with the notes of a song, and then had my staff throw her body down a garbage chute. That's it. That's all you want to say about that? That is what happened. I kind of thought there would be a little bit more poetry to it. I suppose the whole point of this was kind of like it was wholly without poetry. At least the part with the garbage chute. The staff member appears to be taking a certain amount of pride in the carnage he has created. Strange if they're robots. Tequila, bleeding to death from deep lacerations all across her body. The stained glass window is smashed to pieces. You know, I could see that. I probably didn't really need text for it. You know, I'm not peeking through these doors, but I wonder what I would see if I was peeking through them. Grayson. Red. It really wasn't a party until those two got here. Grayson really is such a complete scoundrel. But my god, he's fun. Or he was, at least. Red really would have done anything for him. I'm almost certain that it would be so much more painful if Grayson had gone second, and Red had to watch him die first. Yes. Perhaps I'll change this one. Yeah, well, what will we see if we look through this door? Because it is allowing us to peek. Okay, we get to see what the actual next room is, not the space within the mansion. Interesting. What kind of maniac imagines torturing a man in this way? I'm gonna guess a bored one. He gave his own life to try to save Grayson. It does speak to a kind of like a desperate desire to escape boredom, doesn't it? I think this guy's a lot less in control than he thought. Or maybe than he wants me to believe. Ah, Orem. I smelted him down in the furnace like a big gold bar. My mansion had many strange and wonderful creations, but a lift that doubled as an incinerator. That would have been something. I like to think that if Orem was able to choose how he went, then perhaps he would have chosen something like this. Though, in a way, he almost did. There's a small hope that his heart gave out before he burned to death. That is a small hope. You might be able to afford slightly more than that. Fire blasts from the furnace. So we're supposed to use this ring in the room where Orem died, but this isn't the room where he actually died. But then again, the way we're talking about the mansion, it seems like none of the mansion is anything like none of the mansion we're in is anything like the real mansion in the first place, so they must mean where Orem died in this. I don't know, we're still short information. Oops. Thanos. What a mind to waste. It wasn't just this mansion that he built, you know. There are similar works of architectural genius all over the country. He was a grouchy and often tiresome old man, but that mind was like a cracked diamond. At least his works will live on. Well, Boone, you have heard my confession. As I said, I am a murderer. This is not a brag or a boast. I am not good or clever for it. I am sinful and gross. I have killed everyone in this mansion. But there is one person who didn't die. Yeah, I have some questions on that score. This beautiful golden elevator is the connection between the horror upstairs and the madness down here. Thanos' body is charred to a crisp. The furnace cooked him through. You know, it's a little grotesque down here. Okay. This I'm interested in. What does he have to say here? One man who survived the events of the day here, who woke up in a broken body with a broken mind. They put a mask on his face and a machine forced him to breathe until he was fit to stand. Yeah, it's medical equipment. They're not building a robot, SB. If what the man in the gold mask says is true, then the mask is a breathing aid? Who are the staff here? Yeah, I mean, okay, so we're in somebody's nightmare, basically. The staff are maybe manifestations of... Man, I don't even know. A man who served his time, but time that could never be enough. Whoever was in this cell, they must have been here for years upon years for a tree to grow this large. Yeah. Some of it's starting to come together a little bit. A man who lived when all the others did not. I would like you to meet that man, Boone. I would like you to meet him, and then decide if this day should end. Now I feel really bad for accidentally trying to set this crypt on fire. The crypt is marked Eleanor. You know, somehow, that the grave is real. She is here. Well, that's horrible. The crypt is marked Lucas. It is empty. Well, I guess we're about to get some large-scale answers. The answer will be behind these doors. Come and find me there. She and I will be waiting for you. Okay. Well, we know some things we didn't know. We also don't know some things that I thought we knew. And on the whole, I still have an awful lot of questions. So hold on. There's still a lot of rooms that we don't know about, rooms that we don't have the stories of. We could just run around the mansion. Right? This kind of feels like that moment before the final turn that you get in so many games. I say, let's walk around a little bit and see what Thanos' mask reveals to us. The Key of Old Habits is clearly here. The King in Red's chamber. Man, there's a lot of things that are marked as secrets. Let's wander around the mansion a little bit and see what Thanos' mask reveals to us. Also, we're supposed to use this ring in this room, but I don't know where exactly. Maybe to open the door? At the center of the mansion is a glorious statue carved in the shape of a phoenix. It is one of the crowning glories of the mansion, a marvel of vision, art, and engineering. The statue was originally an enormous furnace that warmed the mansion, before the entire heating system was redesigned and improved by Thanos. The Marquis also included a secret in the statue, however, shared only with a very select few. It conceals an elevator leading down into sections of the basement, kept hidden from prying eyes. So secret, in fact, that the original safety codes to activate the elevator were changed, so not even Thanos knows the true combination. So it looks like they all actually have about half a page of blank at the bottom of them, which is weird. So if the ruby heart ring is what lets us through there, I wonder if we can use it to open any of the fire doors, maybe? No. That looks like a no. Alright, we already have a history of that room. That statue makes a little bit more sense now. Wow, even if we didn't already have the history of the painting room, actually, I think we know that the Heaven and Hell staircase area is, yeah, we're all set on that. Let's head out into the main part of the casino. I certainly do want more information. So all of the stuff that we're getting from the mask, though, is about the false casino that we're in now, not the real casino, right? Or was there actually a huge statue furnace? No, there wasn't. He explicitly said there wasn't. That he wished there had been such a thing. Right? Weird. It's weird that Thanos has all these memories of this place if it wasn't real. Or at least if it wasn't the real version of the thing that it is. Ah. Darn it. Thanos, you're killing me over here. A dumb restaurant owner. Ah! Yes, that's very funny. I need you to hurry up and wheel your ass out of here. It's weird how the sound of him traveling is still appears as footsteps to us when it wouldn't be. It's also weird that I had the option of using the ruby heart ring there. This mask is triggering in a lot fewer places than I was hoping. Let's try... We could try guessing a little bit more instead of just wandering into the blind waste here. We could... Let's see. The theater, the music rooms should have a bunch. The guest rooms, the casino. Yeah, okay. There should be a lot of stuff available. We didn't get people's invitations. There are definitely a lot of things we are yet missing. Also, we know where there's like 2 or 3 keys. Or 2 or 3 cards that we didn't pick up yet, but that, as far as cards go, that's not even close to the number that we're missing, right? Well, it's not that far off, actually. Alright, let's head upstairs with the mask. The mask, it seems like we have quite a few things that should... Oh, wow. That was something that we just witnessed through the window there. Oh, you know what? We didn't, I had to light them. Right, I have to light the thing first. We didn't actually end up checking out what's behind here. Although I guess at this point Thanos is still in here, isn't he? Or not Thanos. Orem. I think so. Yeah, okay. We'll just go chill in the cabinet here until he leaves. Turns out I'm very familiar with Orem and Thanos' routines. I do think it's kind of nice, though, that we, I was stuck on that for long enough that we got a very full view of everything that was happening. Because I did feel like in the early part of the game, I solved or accidentally stumbled upon the solutions of some puzzles before we really had a grasp of what was going on in them. Like, in particular, I'm thinking of the Trinity and Clay portion, where we didn't find out about the spider until well afterward. Or we didn't find out about Tequila's body dropping down either. Would you just go? He just stands and looks at the door for 10 seconds. Come on, buddy, I got ghosts to talk to. Don't you realize how rude this is? Oh, this is a thing I could have hidden in. Okay. The acoustics in this room must be extraordinary. You know the term brown note? I invented that. Well, humanity owes you a debt, sir. Guess it makes sense for the VIP room to have its own corner bar. The drinks look less poisonous than in the other room. Looks like a proper shindig. Or is that many instruments a hootenanny? Perhaps it's a full-blown barnstormer? I don't think the difference between a party and a hootenanny is the number of instruments. I was passed over for first saxophone. It's interesting, all of the ghosts in the house have had this model in all the other rooms. It's interesting that there's another one here. I found something very interesting on a large gentleman who passed through here. But you have nothing to trade for it, so I'm keeping it. The band plays on, no matter what and no matter when. The band always plays. Yeah, that sure does seem to be the case. Maybe this guy wants the key? I don't have the option of showing him even any of the things I have. And is this another cabinet to hide in? It is. Why would there be two in one room? Strange. If there's one thing the Sexy Brutale has in spades, it's bars. No one goes thirsty here. I actually was just thinking that. The only item in the whole place that we don't know the use of is the key, right? So, did I get this already? Yeah, I did. That's right. I didn't light the candle, but I did get this already. So I guess let's grab the key and try to give it to this ghost and see if he wants it. And if not, I'm trying to think. There might be other stuff that I don't know the purpose of. But I don't remember anything off the top of my head. Maybe he would like one of the records? I guess we could bring the records to him. That's something that could happen. I still don't know why there need to be multiple different records. Could just be a verisimilitude thing. They're in different parts of the house. There would be different records, but a lot of adventure games intentionally avoid doing things that are sensible but potentially ambiguous. Hey, you want this weird old key I found? If you can offer me something suitably grisly for my costume, I will trade you whatever I found. Deal? Suitably grisly. Huh. Maybe the Hungry Charm? It's the only thing I can think of that really fits the description. Anyway, for now, let's head upstairs. I'm going to try to get to the clock room upstairs and set myself up there so that we can explore it a little bit more thoroughly after the clock resets here in just about a minute. Something suitably grisly. And it might be something we haven't found yet. There's definitely still some looking around to do. Where's the clock up here? I do not remember. It's in this room down here. Okay. We're going to have to run past Willow's body. Okay. see if we can get the mask to trigger anywhere. There were several entries in the guest rooms that we didn't yet have, but also it seems like I can't see if the mask is going to trigger anywhere where there's a voodoo candle. Because Willow's mask just appears in the slot. So I don't know. Maybe I just need to be checking inside the individual guest rooms. The Marquis considers himself an audio pioneer who loved to experience and experiment with a truly eclectic range of music. By mixing the old with the new, he threw parties that offered something truly different for his guests. Nothing brought him more joy than seeing new and exciting dances created in order to keep up with the fresh sounds played in his dance hall. The Marquis liked to say that his balls were greatly admired by high society, a comment for which he would usually be sharply rebuked by his wife. You can't just be talking to people about your balls like that. It's uncouth. A talented artist, Eleanor loved to paint and sculpt. She was, as Lucas liked to say, fond of making a mess. To create her studio here, Eleanor stripped and repainted every inch of the walls by hand, making it forever her own. The many paintings across the mansion are almost exclusively Eleanor's works. She loved to adapt to existing styles and put a flippant or unsettling twist on them. Well, she was very successful. The Marquis, ever fond of secrets, sealed off the room behind the studio and installed a hidden door behind one of the paintings to create a luxurious chamber for his wife. We already have that. Yeah, we don't need to go in there. We already have that one marked in our brochure. I love that they put so much detail into this place. Realizing that aquariums were an excellent way to both to please his wife and show off to the guests, the Marquis wanted to collect only the rarest of fish. The Devil's Hole pupfish is a tiny breed of fish existing solely in one muddy hole in one particular desert. Once every 100 years, a bizarre mutation will manifest and one will grow to an enormous size and display extraordinary coloring. These are known as the Devil's Monarchs. Lucas obtained a government license to own and preserve one of these, much to his wife's delight. However, this is still not quite the rarest or most unusual creature kept in the mansion. Yeah, that's a little bit of an understatement, I think. So there's two more mask things to find in the guest rooms area. If we go through that door, we'll be more in the theater. Well, I clicked already, so I guess we'll see what happens here. So I'm assuming the room that Willow's staying in is the other one, then. Tequila Belle and Willow Blue always had a room reserved for them when they visited the mansion. Despite the Marquis' best efforts, Tequila never wanted any particular luxury lavished on her. She only needed a place to sleep and access to the practice stage. But this year she has been a little disappointed by a patch of rising damp in her room. And to top it off, she hears noises at night. It sounds like dark secrets whispered in her ear, making it hard for her to sleep or dream without images of terrible visions coming at her from deep, cold places. Yeah, it's all quite creepy. How long does Tequila sit in here talking to herself after their encounter? Alright, it's not that long. Well, I guess she does just go right into this room, though, doesn't she? I should probably, chill out and give her a moment. I do wish it didn't do that every time you enter a room that has a voodoo candle in it. The Marquis met Willow when he traveled to the deep swamps of the south, looking for a truly special gift for his wife, a mythical juju guppy. He found Willow selling antiques in a tiny shop where every piece on display was more macabre and fantastical than the last, as if she had a second sight that allowed her to see the stories behind the artifacts. Willow now searches out unique and misunderstood curios for the Marquis to display in his mansion, and has been given her own room to stay when she returns each time from her travels. This year, Willow was horrified to learn that the Marquis has finally tracked down that special gift and is keeping it in the mansion. Okay, so that's all of these. Now I'm going to grab the Hungry Charm. Should we feed it, maybe? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I think probably this is not what that ghost was asking for. Because there haven't really been any items in this game that have had multiple uses so far, but can't hurt to give it a shot. So Willow will be in with the Juju Guppy right now. I wonder, her bone key might not be a bad one either. Again, I would expect it to be something that hasn't had any other use yet, but we'll see. Alright, we'll run downstairs and show this to him later. Let's go into the music rooms and get all the mask information from in there. I'm not trying to talk to you, I just want to go. I wish we could blow out this candle so that I didn't have to deal with them. The band room was another practice room for any of the guests or entertainers at the mansion to make free use of. It was actually most popular with several members of staff, who had their own full house club band that would frequently play during the masked balls each year. It was a little-known secret that many members of the house staff were musicians who actually came to serve at the Sexy Brutale for the sole reason of gaining access to the treasure trove of instruments that the Marquis had accumulated. More valuable even than the instruments, however, is the opportunity to talk and learn from the extraordinary caliber of musicians who visit the mansion. That does sound pretty cool, actually. Oh. Well, now we've seen that happen from several angles. Okay, so we won't be able to go in here until after this thing happens. Although, I think we might already have that. No, we actually don't. This thing that we just got was the only thing in the music rooms that we had marked. Really, nothing about this extremely weird room. Huh. The dressing room was created to allow Tequila and any other performers a private space where they could prepare for any shows, of which there were always many at the Sexy Brutale on any given evening. The area was originally another room for displaying instruments and other items from musical history, but these were all hastily stored and locked away in an adjacent storage room. A laundry chute allowed for changes of clothes to be quickly processed by the staff, but in later years the room below was converted into an exotic butterfly house, and so the chute fell out of use entirely. It may, however, still be connected. Not that anyone would put anything down it, of course. What kind of monster would do such a thing? Okay. I didn't think that there would be information about the storage room. But it was worth checking. So wait. The instrument pool room. Huh. We were just in the instrument pool room. Or instrument pool room. Strange. There's not even anything to interact with in here anymore. What could possibly trigger the brochure entry? Man, that scream is mixed in there in a very unsettling way. We're not gonna watch. We'll just wait patiently here until my mask stops burning. These paintings really are all, like, normal subjects that are then twisted in a kind of unsettling way, aren't they? The stage within the music room wing of the mansion features one of several delicate stained glass murals commissioned by the Marquis, designed by the architect genius Thanos Gorecki, and created by master goldsmith Aurum Runes. The Marquis created this stage room primarily as a gift to the singer Tequila Bell, who is regarded as a living national treasure due to her extraordinary voice and talent. Whenever Tequila visits the mansion, she has the room entirely at her disposal. She is often accompanied on the piano by Red Rockridge, ex-head croupier for the Sexy Brutale and an unusually gifted pianist. So we can see that clearly says instrument pool room. Find the ace of spades to unlock this information. I didn't realize these were clickable. So these are ones that are, I'm sure, unlocked by the mask. Yeah, and some of them are locked behind playing cards. That's interesting. And the secrets have no information for us on how they are unlocked, for they are secrets. Fair enough. Alright. Let's go see if we can deliver what that ghost is looking for. So the first thing I'm going to do, he said grizzly. I don't know that this really qualifies as grizzly, but we're going to go grab the skull key that she leaves behind. The bone key, rather. I don't remember. What is this? Oh, that's right. All we get out of the chest that this opens is the information about how to feed the charm. It's possible that there are still things we can't do until we're completely done with the plot, I suppose. Let's go see if anything we have in our inventory will satisfy this dude. And if not, oh yeah, I have to. And if not, then I suppose we'll give up on this for now. Get out of the way! Ah, that is quite the gross skull thing you have there. Let's do a trade for this thing I, found on the large gentleman who was passing through here. Okay. What do you know? Some items do have more than one use. The invitations are at the top, right? Here we go. Aurum Runes is descended from a family of master goldsmiths. As a younger man, Aurum worked tirelessly in the forges, smelting with methods of his own devising. He created hardened steels for the most challenging industrial designs, as well as inventing delicate filigree techniques no one could match. Fumes from a particularly demanding project aggravated a dormant medical condition, but Aurum was able to create a specialized welding mask to monitor his heart rate. Ah, that's why his mask looks so fancy and electronic compared to everybody else's. Orem is responsible for many of the exquisite pieces of art and engineering throughout the mansion. The Midas Giant. Okay, well, hey, look at that. We're solving stuff. We're figuring things out. Also, I am delighted by how excited that dude was. Oh my, that's quite the gross skull thing you have there. So what else do we need to... What other areas do we need to hit? The casino has a couple of things. There's a thing we can't get from the music room. The theater area has a couple. All the basement rooms we don't have yet are locked behind cards. And then there's the chapel. Do we know how to get back there? We haven't been to that area since the very beginning. Well, let's go to the casino. It's late enough in the day that I don't believe there are people in there anymore. So this would be the optimal time to do it. Although I might be out of time. Really, nothing in here. This seems like the kind of room that would warrant a little bit of special attention. As does this. This room, you remember. The edge of an invitation pokes out from the silk cocoon. Okay, we got a couple things there. We can look at those in a second here. Let's try to figure out where this last brochure room is. It could be the actual casino room, right? Okay, we got it. Great. Whatever, I don't need your weird keys and records. Seriously, I'm still very curious what that key is for, though. Alright. The most famous game of cards ever held at the Sexy Brutale was between Alexander Minsky the Cruel, a Russian diamond magnate, and Big Mac Rockefeller, a Texan oil baron. Cameras were installed to show the game, ostensibly for the other guests' enjoyment, but also to prevent cheating on the part of either of the two notorious liars. In later years, cameras were installed throughout the rest of the casino, so that any game or room could be shown on this monitor. The original game ended, by the way, in neither a win or loss, but rather in a fistfight which saw both men disbarred from the casino for a year. A whole year, huh? Seems a little gentle. The Marquis held a particular fascination with exotic, colorful, and above all, venomous creatures. Or at least he did in this weird phantom reality. He created this tropical room to house some of his most beautiful and dangerous specimens. In addition to using their toxins to flavor and spice the drinks he served at the mansion, a practice which thrilled and delighted as many guests as it horrified, he enjoyed nothing more than walking through this room, knowing that a careless step or misplaced touch could end his life. He kept the room safe under lock and key, but there were whispered rumors among the staff of a horrific creature growing unchecked in the sweltering darkness. This is very ominous. I would not want to work in a place like this. The blind artist Trinity Carrington is one of the most gifted sculptors in the world. The Marquis saw one of her statues while visiting a church with another of the guests in the mansion, and tracked her down to create the carvings that decorate the Sexy Brutale. The elegance of her work is quite at odds with her wicked sense of humor and complete disregard for rules. She was caught cheating at cards using her extraordinary sense of touch and hearing, but this delicate situation introduced her to her future husband, head of security Clay Rockridge, so she considered herself a winner regardless. Alright, there's 4 invitations that we haven't gotten yet. But we're actually... No, we still have to hit the theater. But once we're past that, we're, I think, beyond the mask bits. Except, the chapel. How do we get to the chapel? Hold on. The chapel... This. It's just represented as a separate area. These are the walkways above. There was a door in one room that I never went through, or probably couldn't have gone through. And no other way in. So I guess probably we can't get back to the chapel until we finish the plot, or I don't know. We certainly don't have access to it yet. Okay, well, I think we might be out of things to do running around out here before we move the plot forward. It was nice to go back and discover the meaning of some things, explore things a little bit thoroughly, get a couple more playing cards. But I do believe it's time to move forward. And of course, I don't mean it's time to move forward right now. But it will, sometime soon, be time to move forward. Tomorrow, maybe. I am going to take us to the clock over by the furnace, though, before we quit. So, I don't know. What do you think? The staff working here knows that there are, or at least has rumors, that there are horrifying monsters beyond the wall, or behind the walls, and that all kinds of terrifying, creepy shit is happening. But also, they get to hang out with the best musicians in the world, and just, like, jam with them. That's tough. That's a tough one. You just have to ask yourself, how awesome do things have to be for it to be worth you fearing for your life 100% of the time? Where's that clock back here? It's like in the... It's in this room? I am extremely forgetful. Here we go. Okay, well. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you were all as interested in this little catch-up period as as I was. If not, and you were just bored, well, my apologies. But come back next time, tomorrow. We're going to make some forward progress and maybe finally figure out what's going on? Maybe. We'll see you then.